Well, welcome, Cliff. It's so exciting to be here at Supercompute 2024. There's a lot of buzz. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you, and it's been a great show so far. It's just noon on the first day that the show's open. We've already had an awesome set of meetings and met a lot of new people.
Is this your first year at Supercompute?
It isn't. I've been here 3 or 4 years in a row now.
Excellent, excellent. So why don't you tell the audience a little bit about what you do specifically for OCP?
Okay, well, when it comes to OCP, I spend a lot of time looking at what is the next things that the OCP community needs to be involved in. Personally, we want to make sure that we don't get blindsided by any new technologies that come along. So I spend a lot of time there. I also spend a lot of times trying to bring in the academic community and startups to the OCP community and population, which is typically comprised of engineers working on today's product.
Amazing. Specifically HPC organizations you're interested in?
Yes, in fact, we do a lot of work with the Department of Energy labs in the US and have a pretty strong collaboration going on with Fermilab and with Lawrence Berkeley National Lab. So specifically, yes, with the high performance crowd.
Okay. And well, tell us a little bit about how OCP really has, what's the relationship between OCP and AI and HPC type organizations?
That's a great question because, as we look towards the future, it's becoming pretty clear that AI and HPC are blurring in the sense that when we move forward, many of the problems that we're going to need to solve are going to need specialized computational elements like matrix multiplication, for example, from the HPC side, but at the same time, they're going to want to make use of specialized processors for AI around neural networks. So really the technologies are coming together to solve the problems that people are looking to solve, which means that the communities need to come together. And so that's a lot how the relationship got started between OCP and the high performance compute community, specifically because the high performance compute community realized that the hyperscale community, which is where OCP is centered, were a very large buying force and could influence the design of computational infrastructure for the future. So that way, if they wanted to influence the designs, they needed to engage with the hyperscale community to be part of that.
Awesome, awesome. And they have to do it now, right? They can't wait. It's all about getting everybody together now, so you're looking 5-10 years out.
So what's happened is, in the past, the HPC community was somewhat separate from the hyperscale community and were doing their own thing. But unfortunately, the technology for building more and more performant systems hasn't advanced fast enough. And so instead of using homogeneous processors, we need to go to specialized processors. The problem for the high performance compute community is that they don't have the volume to drive that themselves. But alongside the hyperscale community, they can drive the volume that will get them the attention in the industry.
Got it, I got it.
So that's why now.
Okay, that's now. So you mentioned sustainability, and I know that's a huge theme every year, even at OCP. It is for us too, as a storage company, to be able to contribute products that will bring down, and reduce the carbon footprint, reduce the power, reduce the energy. Being here at Supercompute, what do you think some of the biggest challenges are of some of these organizations?
It's actually pretty easy because once AI kind of put the data center in build mode, sustainability to some extent took a back seat for a little while. However, it's not really gone in the sense that there's still a lot of work going on, and we have a project that's in collaboration with iMasons to come up with a standardized way to label a piece of IT equipment on the carbon impact it's had in its manufacture. So what's the carbon disclosure rating? And our expectation is once this is available, and you could go and look up a server, for example, and see what its impact is on the ecological footprint of the planet, then the big buyers can make a buying decision based on what is the better equipment from an ecological perspective. So that's one thing that's ongoing that I think is going to be quite important moving forward. We also have projects that are looking at looking at things like how to build the buildings better. For example, we recently had an investment by some of our board members in a project to try to see if we can find a formula for greener concrete. As you may be aware, one of the most carbon thieves or worst enemies of carbon is actually the concrete that's used to build the buildings. And there's only one component of the concrete that really causes the carbon issue is the cement, which is a very small portion of the concrete. And so if we can find alternate materials that give us the same hardening properties and drying times, then we can actually reduce the carbon emissions from building data center buildings and other buildings as well. And so there's a lot of work going on around that. That's just one or two examples that we hope are going to change the ecological profile of the data center industry.
Well, I love this. I think even just some of those things you just mentioned are going to be super, they're going to be passion points for a lot of organizations. Where can folks go to learn more and maybe become more integrated into the OCP community? Where should they go?
There are three things I would suggest to folks. One, come to our event. The last event we had in San Jose attracted 7,000 people. Not the scope of this event, but starting to get there. And we expect at least that many next year. We have events in Europe, and we have an event that's coming in Taiwan. So next year in the spring, in the summer, and in the fall, there are OCP events that people could join. After that, we have our projects that are ongoing, uniquely to the OCP. Anyone can join any one of our projects. You don't have to be a member, and so that's important. And last but not least, it's you can go to our website, and all of the recordings from our summits are available. You can go and listen and pick up the slides and get the information that was shared at the meeting.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Cliff. It's been such a pleasure just talking through this, and we're excited to get others involved in the community.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.